Your plane hits the SeaTac tarmac with a jolt. Welcome to Seattle. The chilling northwest rain obscures your vision as you step onto the tarmac. Before long, you're sitting in the cramped back seat of a cab, following the signal from a Sam's locator chip into the heart of the Redmond Barrens. Organ grinders, a legal chop shop for body parts, whether from the living or the dead. If you're hurting bad enough for New Yen, this is the place to sell a limb or an organ. It's also a good place to dispose of an inconvenient body while making a little cash on the side. This franchise is the closest thing the Barrens has to a morgue. It seems this is where Sam Watt's body has ended up. You open the door and are assaulted by the smell of death and bleach. Welcome back, guys, to the second episode of Dead Man's Switch. This is ShadowRun Returns. I forgot to say that first, but here we go. I love this guy. I'm in the back! The smell of death and decomposition wash over you, only slightly masked by the minty fake fresh of industrial grade antiseptic. Hovering over the recently departed is a small dwarf whistling a tune. His broad grin says, "I love my job," a little more than you'd want or expect from someone in the chop shop trade. As you approach, he looks up with a lopsided grin. There's something kindly in his eyes, though it might just be a stray reflection of chrome and surgical tools.
Sorry, didn't expect any visitors at this hour, and some asshole at corporate took my receptionist. What can I do for you, ma'am?
Oh god, that voice. Are you the coroner?
I'm John Dresden, the organ grinders branch manager here. So yeah, that makes me this franchise's area's coroner too. And you are?
Maul. I'm Maul. I represent a man named Sam Watts, and I'm here to look into his murder. He frowns.
Interesting. A dead man makes for a strange client. But mate, blah, blah. But what makes you think he's here?
Sam had a locator chip embedded in his skull. I followed it here.
I see. Well, you're right. He's here. Not too many people know about the murder yet, though. The press haven't caught wind of it yet either. What with it being all the way out here in the Barrens. So who told you he was dead?
The dwarf raises his eyebrows, a smile wiping the suspicion from his face.
A dead man switches, eh? Fascinating. I was working on him earlier. He's over here. He's my second Emerald City Ripper victim. The third one's downstairs. The third one was downtown.
Ripper, huh? I guess the classics never go out of style. He sighs.
Not my title. That's what the Seattle press insists on calling the killer. All I know is that, like the original Jack, our Ripper knows how to handle his scalpel. Now, this one's even more twisted. He or she always removes an internal organ from the victim.
What prize did the Ripper take from Sam?
Watt's liver was cleanly cut out.
What about the other lucky contestants?
The first victim's heart was missing, and the third had the spleen removed.
Dresden, get over here!
These voices are going to kill me.
I'm here about the new Ripper Vic, Sam Watts.
Towering over the diminutive coroner is a homicide detective right out of Central Casting. If you ignore the tusks, pointed ears, and Neanderthal brow, you can smell his cheap aftershave from a mile away.
So this new Ripper Vic, Watts, name's familiar. Didn't his mother kill herself a while back?
The coroner frowns.
So you insisted at the time.
He chortles.
Come on, she offed herself. I had it on very good authority. Now let's go, Dresden. Give me something to work with here. This Ripper case is my ticket to a lieutenant's badge.
I've already posted everything I know. The killer stuns the target with a combination of drugs and magic. Then he removes a single internal organ while they're still alive. The perpetrator is most likely right-handed, with a slim hand that knows its way around a scalpel. Has a decent understanding of human and metahuman anatomy, too.
So, I'm looking for a whacked-out surgeon?
Not necessarily. I don't know any surgeons who still use scalpels anymore. These days it's all done with computer-controlled lasers. Could be anyone from a military field surgeon to an antique medicine aficionado.
You're no damn help, dwarf.
The Lone Star Detective finally notices you. You note his superhuman powers of observation.
Who the hell are you?
None of your business, Lumpy. His face contorts in a hideous snarl.
You're funny, troll. Maybe we'll find another time to do a little dance later, you and me.
He looks back at the dwarf.
Dresden, get me more. I'm putting someone in a cell or a box this week and claiming my promotion.
I hope I never have to speak his voice again. I'm gonna kill myself with that voice. Dresden looks amused.
Do you always make friends that easily?
I'm great at dinner parties, too. He cocks his head to one side.
Be straight with me. You really gonna work for the dead man?
Sam was there when I needed him. I'm going to return the favor.
Fascinating again. Detective McCluskey isn't interested in anything but Detective McCluskey. He'd convict his own mother if it meant another 10 Oh, God. He'd convict his own mother if it meant another 10 million a week in his paycheck. Plus, he's on the take.
Dresden pauses, considering.
You have honor. After a fashion, I try to honor the dead in my work, so I have that in common. What can I do to help you?
On the take. Who is paying to hold his leash?
I don't know, but someone who with some major pull has been looking out for McCluskey's career and wallet.
What was that McCluskey said about Sam's mother?
The official report is that she committed suicide about a year ago.
Aren't you the official in that sentence?
My name's on the report, but my actual findings left some doubt. I can't say that it wasn't a suicide, but there were unusual bruises on her upper arms, and she didn't use her dominant hand to pull the trigger. I was told to drop it, so I dropped it.
What are organs worth these days?
A whole healthy body can be worth a bunch of million, but individual organs, not much anymore. Not worth as much anymore. Not with all the synth and cyber stuff on the market these days. Organ grinders only deals in the recently deceased. There's plenty of other chop shops that aren't as picky, though, and they don't care where the bodies come from either.
Who still uses scalpels?
Doctors still learn how to use them in their first year of medical school, as do coroners, but neither profession uses them much anymore. It's possible some of the slimier chop shops still use scalpels, I suppose, but I wouldn't know where to look.
I just need to know one more thing. Where was Sam killed? Dresden looks up at you intently for a moment before speaking.
You know, I might be able to do you one better. Why don't you poke around those body lockers in the back and see if you find anything useful?
Okay, I'll go do that. Before we do that, we are going to look in here. 'Cause looting! Basic medkit. Gonna need that. Hi! Sam's body is half covered by a sterile surgical sheet, his face an ashen white, for the first time without a smirk on it. Below the chest is a small, pencil-thin incision covered in dried blood. Beyond that, the corpse is immaculate. It would seem that the killer knew exactly what they wanted from it and took it. Next to Sam are several plastic envelopes containing the evidence found on his body. You can examine evidence through the bag without spoiling it. Look at the business card. Moving things around, you can make out that it's a card from a place called Seamstress's Union. There's something handwritten on the back, but blood has made it illegible. Look at the cred stick. It's a standard chip in unsecured cred stick. Cheap. No way of knowing what's on it without slotting in. Take the cred stick. Yay, 300 new yen. You slot the cred stick into your PDA. 300 is added to your account. Look at the purple shirt. It's Sam's shirt. Several of the buttons are missing, and blood is thoroughly soaked. The bag sloshes a bit in your hand. You look at the handwritten note. You can only see part of the note, given the torn off bits and bloodstains. Sam, I feel terrible that we have been long to say I'm sorry. See you there, love, Jessica. Okay, putting down the evidence bag. Sorry, Jessica. Okay, so this guy is my favorite. The cold storage drawer is labeled John. The cold storage drawer is labeled John Doe, but the internal thermostat is set to 21 degrees Celsius. Okay, open the drawer. The cold storage drawer opens to reveal the fully clothed body of a man, arms folded across his chest. In addition to sporting some of the brightest orange hair you've ever seen, the body seems to be in very good condition.
Whoa, easy there.
Yay, I like this guy. In one quick move, he jumps down from the drawer and stands before you. For some who just woke up in a morgue locker, he seems unfazed and pretty well put together. You spot a data jack drilled into his temples and some shamanistic tattoos peeking above his collar. An interesting combination.